Okay, peeps, so a Zentangle is supposed to be something that's kind of relaxing and involving, and it kind of can get your mind off of things. So the first thing I like to do, I like to start with a square piece of paper, but you don't have to. You can cut a piece of paper into a square. It doesn't have to be fancy paper. You can have a black pen. It's better to have waterproof, but if you don't, a black pen or any one color pen will do fine. The first thing I do when let me get that thing off there. Okay. First thing I do when I create a Zentangle is I separate the space. So I'm just going to separate the space randomly into shapes. Now you can do so that it they're coming out of each other, alright? You can do it in many different ways, but I kind of just randomly create spaces. Now in each of these spaces, I'm basically going to put patterns, and those patterns are just going to, so here for instance I'm going to put little heart patterns, right? And I'm not going to do the whole thing because it'll be really boring for you to watch. Here I might create patterns that show something like this. And then, block it off. This one, it took me a while to learn this one. I think I might already have forgotten how to do it, but you can kind of make it look like it's a box. Alright, you can create patterns that are curly cues. You can create stars, just as long as you, here, let me get the star out of that one and do a star one. Just as long as you make sure that the space is completely full. That star's kind of messed up, but we won't star shame that thing. All right, and that you also want to make sure that some of your space is filled with black and some of it isn't. So once I'm done with these stars, I guess I'm gonna have to do these. That star's missing a limb, but from what I understand, sea stars can create new limbs. So as you can see, I'm filling the space, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. Oh, another limbless one. Oh well. It's probably not that, I don't even know what that thing is, but let's just pretend that looks like a star, okay? We're not going very quickly here. So I just want to fill this space up so you can kind of see. Maybe on this background I might make the whole background, oops, let me get that organized so it doesn't go all over the place. Maybe this background will be black, so you might have to fill that in with a pen, right? Maybe, as you can see, once you start filling things with color, it changes the dynamics of everything. So basically, you're supposed to make mistakes when it comes to Zentangles and incorporate them into your art. So don't worry if you make a mistake. Figure it out. Figure out how to make it work within what you're doing. All right, and please look at the videos that I showed you on how to create Zentangles. They get a little bit more complicated than I kind of go, but it'll give you an idea of how to create really interesting spaces and cool patterns. There's all kinds of really cool things you can do. But as you can see, once I start creating thicker lines and thinner lines, and I create interesting, go away, it starts to take on some really cool looks, okay? So this is how you start your Zentangle. First, you organize your space just randomly, however you want. Then you start filling each space with patterns that hopefully you'll spend a lot more time on than I am. Alright? And then as you fill the patterns up, you're going to be just in a really chill mood, and it's just going to feel really nice, and you're going to be super creative, and it's going to look really cool, and it's just going to be just a happy, happy thing. And that is how you begin a Zentangle.